Now on the CTV News at 5, Lethbridge police could be a step closer to getting body-worn cameras. Plus, officers respond to a high-risk incident on the city's south side. And the province announces new rules for school library books.
Telling your stories. CTV News Lethbridge with Jackie Scantlebury.
Good afternoon. We're glad you could join us. The Lethbridge Police Service is asking City Council for more than $1.5 million in additional funding to purchase and implement body-worn cameras. The ask went before the city's Economic and Finance Standing Policy Committee today, ahead of a deadline by the province to have all officers wearing the piece of technology by next year. Carson Marsouk reports.
It's a step closer to getting body-worn cameras for police officers in the city. Lethbridge Police Chief Shaheen Medizadeh went before the city's Economic and Finance Standing Policy Committee Thursday, asking for $550,000 this year to purchase the cameras and $914,000 next year to use them. Funding will come from the city's Municipal Revenue Stabilization Reserve.
Use of technology is right now becoming more and more critical in our service delivery and ensuring transparency and what we do every day, and certainly this is welcome news.
In March 2023, the province announced that body-worn cameras would become mandatory for all police officers in Alberta by the end of next year.
It's not just about the complaints against the officers, really. That's one element of what these cameras bring, but we all know best evidence is what you capture on video, audio, and all those other components that this technology will bring, which really heightens the way that our officers investigate.
The service says it'll cost $5,500 annually to use one camera, with about 165 cameras needed. The chief says the funding will also cover licensing and disclosure. Medizadeh has also asked that the additional funding be included in the 2027 and 2028 to 2031 operating budget. A funding grant is available, but the city would bear 78% of costs, while the province covers 22%. If council approves the recommendation, the city will have costs about $725,000 annually for 3 years and nearly $1 million a year after the grant expires.
We would have wanted the province to contribute more financially. That doesn't mean that they won't in the future. For right now, the sum that they provided, we know and they know and the police service knows that it's not enough to support this, but we'll find a way. This is provincially mandated and we will meet their request.
Carson Marsouk, CTV News, Lethbridge.
Now, last month, officers with both the Taber Police Service and RCMP detachments in Coaldale and Picture Butte began using body-worn cameras. The matter will now go before City Council for final approval of funding. A lot of police activity this afternoon on Lethbridge's south side. Officers responding to a high-risk incident shortly after noon along the 2300 block of 22nd Street South. The public was directed to avoid the area. Nearby Scenic Drive was shut down, which did lead to some traffic problems. The issue was resolved around 2 o'clock when witnesses tell CTV a man came out of the house and was arrested by police. RCMP are asking for the public's help to determine the activities of a teen leading up to her body being located near Glenwood late last week. Police say the 16-year-old Jordan Dines of Calgary was found just west of Glenwood on July the 4th. Police say Dines was last seen around 2:45 p.m. at Chinook Centre in Calgary on July the 3rd. The vehicle she was found in was a teal 2009 Toyota Camry with black steel rims, while not registered, stolen. Police say the registered owner had said it was missing since the morning of July the 4th. Anyone with information about her whereabouts between July the 3rd, when her body was found, is asked to contact Cardston RCMP or Crime Stoppers. Lethbridge police are asking for the public's help locating 2 missing people. Dakota Oka and Tyson Oka have not been seen or heard from by family members in over a month. Police are concerned for their well-being. The pair's whereabouts are unknown. Few details are available, but if you have information on their whereabouts, you're urged to contact Lethbridge Police. A local theatre group has been left scrambling after having some of its costumes stolen. The Lethbridge Shakespeare Society had about a third of its costumes stolen after one of its Shakespeare in the Park show. On Monday, the costumes were left in the trunk of a car in the London Road area after being washed. The car was broken into and the thief managed to get away with the costumes. A $200 reward is being offered for information on where the costumes might be, but the community has stepped up to make sure that the show goes on.
We have scrambled over the last few days and we have borrowed some costumes from the very helpful theatre community in Lethbridge, and we have also gone scrambling around to Value Village, and our talented costume designer has adapted some of the things we found there.
The Shakespeare Society will be performing tonight and Friday in Legacy Park. The Red Deer Minor Hockey Association is conducting an internal investigation into one of its coaches, former NHL player and Lethbridge Hurricane Nick Ternasky. It was promoted by video, or the investigation was prompted by video of a fight on a Red Deer golf course earlier this month.
Hey, man, come on, man. Hey!
The video appears to show Nick Ternasky in the white shirt and another man arguing before the man is thrown into a pond. A series of punches are thrown after the man gets out of the water. It appears it started because one of the groups was playing too slowly. Ternasky is from Rocky Mountain House. He played more than 240 games in the NHL with Tampa Bay, Nashville, and Florida. He played 101 games for the Lethbridge Hurricanes between 2002 to 2004. Red Deer Minor Hockey says, we understand the matter is being reviewed by local policing authorities and we are conducting our own internal investigation into the alleged incident. Alberta RCMP say there is no active police investigation. With Street Machine Weekend set to kick off tomorrow, the Lethbridge Police Service is asking vehicle enthusiasts to celebrate the weekend safely. Police say all rules of the road apply throughout the weekend. Events are scheduled at the Lethbridge and District Exhibition and Galt Gardens. Along with the cruise on Mayor McGrath Drive South, police say over the years there have been a number of incidents where large crowds have gathered on public and private property to engage in illegal and dangerous driving behavior.
Motorists need to be cautious and share the road with this large number of vehicles expected with pedestrians on our roadways. Pay attention, obey the posted speed limits, traffic laws, and be aware of their surroundings. We want everybody to be safe on the weekend.
Last year, police issued 154 tickets, mostly for stunting and equipment violations, and 5 impaired drivers were removed from the road. A reminder from firefighters about Lethbridge's River Valley fire ban after crews were able to quickly put out a small grass fire in the coulees. 911 callers reported the blaze about 5 p.m. yesterday near Scenic Drive and 2nd Avenue South. Now, half an hour later, crews from 4 stations responded to a fire at a 2-story townhouse in the 2800 block of 47th Street South. The blaze started on the front porch and extended to the exterior siding of the home. Residents called 911. They tried to control the fire with a home extinguisher. Firefighters were able to completely douse the blaze and prevent it from spreading. Smoke was reported inside the home. No injuries were reported and no other structures were damaged. Several American lawmakers want Canada to do more in combating wildfires in our country. 6 congressional Republicans from Wisconsin and Minnesota say successive years of wildfires have undermined air quality in their states and robbed Americans of their ability to enjoy the summer. They pointed to forest management and arson as possible factors, but did not mention climate change. The lawmakers sent a letter to Canada's ambassador urging her to relay their concerns to Natural Resources Canada and the Canadian Forest Service. Danielle Zavoni, you said cooler weather was coming, and it actually snowed in the mountains around Banff today. We are going to be back, though, into the 30s by the weekend.
Yeah, so quite a significant temperature difference in all of Alberta. And southern Alberta, when we were in the 30s yesterday, and now struggling in many communities just in the teens and lower 20s. Yeah, quite a difference in this rain. So it's basically a one-day cool down, a bit of a break from the excessive heat, because it will start heating up by tomorrow once again. And we certainly need some rainfall, and we're getting that. as you can see. 12 degrees right now. We did get into the 20s earlier, but we've cooled down once again as we get these on and off showers. And it's just, yes, 12 in Lethbridge, 14 in Brooks, 16 in Medicine Hat, 13 in Milk River. Quite a departure from the 30s yesterday. More details coming up, Jackie.
All right, thank you, Danielle. Recent rain has crops in southern Alberta looking the best they have in years, but farmers say they are not out of the woods yet. Quinn Keenan has that story.
About 3 weeks ago, much of southern Alberta was hit with one of its biggest rainfalls in years. Some areas of southwestern Alberta saw as much as 5 inches of rain. All that moisture has many farmers feeling optimistic.
Well, what a change. We went from, I mean, the crops were dead standing. They were out of moisture. I don't know if we would even combine if it wasn't for that rain here. And that, I think it was 3 weeks ago now.
Close to 61% of crops in southern Alberta are in good to excellent condition. About 80% of the soil is rated fair or higher. After years of dry conditions, the big rainfall was a welcome change.
Things have really turned around in the last few weeks, I would say, since we did get some moisture. The crops were kind of dry. Things were kind of hurting a little bit. Some of the earlier seeded stuff still suffered from lack of moisture, but anything that was seeded a little bit later or normal time, I would say, they look really good.
Conditions may have improved, but farmers aren't celebrating just yet. Crops will still need a bit more rain to help make sure the harvest is a good one.
See, half inch would be kind of minimum, but an inch would be, 2 inches would for sure do it, but an inch would be good. And getting an inch this time of year, it's usually thunderstorms, and that's spotty.
Rain will likely be harder to come by for the rest of summer. Forecasts show the Lethbridge region can expect drier and warmer conditions for the rest of summer. But some sporadic rains could help break up the heat.
What we do see in our models for the month of August is a generally drier note for southern Alberta. So that doesn't mean that it is going to be dry every day, but our monthly totals, we are picking up that drier than normal trend, which could mean some lower levels of precipitation for the rest of the, taking you to the end of summer.
Quinn Keenan, CTV News, Lethbridge.
The Lethbridge and District Exhibition is continuing to see a financial revenue loss when it comes to operation of the Agri-Food Hub and Trade Centre. In May, the LDE reported a 7-month cumulative deficit of nearly $800,000. In the month of May alone, the LDE lost $218,000. Broken down, that's about $3,700 a day in lost revenue. The LDE received $232,000 in provincial grant funding in May. The number of people traveling by air to and from Lethbridge continues to be down compared to pre-COVID numbers. A report to the city's SPC shows there was 38,000 passengers through YQL last year. Nearly 105,000 travelers used the airport in 2019. The airport says in 2019, 2 airlines were serving Lethbridge, WestJet and Air Canada, which Air Canada exited the market shortly after. While passenger volume is still down, the airport is reporting the highest aircraft movement last year with nearly 35,000 planes using the airport. Airport officials say the biggest challenge has been the size of aircrafts that airlines are moving towards.
We've seen a change in the industry over the last few years where airlines are moving to bigger airplanes because they are actually cheaper per seat to operate. And so this makes it difficult to operate a large number of frequencies out of smaller airports. And so this gives you less options for connections and then therefore drives down that demand.
In October, WestJet made operation changes, switching from 3 flights daily down to 1, but using a larger aircraft that can carry 78 passengers. The Alberta government has released clear guidance on what it expects to see regarding books in school libraries starting in the fall. A ministerial order signed by the Education Minister is aiming to ensure content is age appropriate and free from explicit sexual material. The Education Minister says the new guidelines are not about banning books, but rather providing clear direction to school boards. The province defines explicit sexual content as containing a detailed and clear depiction of a sexual act. Alberta teachers say this is now adding to rigorous workloads to start of a school year.
This ministerial order does nothing than add to teacher workload, politicize an issue, and target vulnerable kids. And so I'm not sure exactly what is the problem that government is looking to fix, but they've definitely created a situation that is going to cause a chilling effect within our schools in the fall.
All school boards in the province must remove any materials with explicit sexual content from their libraries, but the extra workload will not come with any additional funding to do that. All right, Danielle is back after the break to tell us just how hot it is going to get this weekend. Also, the device that is helping donated organs stay viable for twice as long.
All right, here's your Skywatch weather camera facing west, and it's a darker day than yesterday, isn't it? It's certainly a cooler day in comparison as well, and all of Alberta has certainly cooled down, especially in the south end. 16 degrees is the temperature right now in Calgary. We did get a little warmer than that in Calgary earlier, but with this on and off rainfall, it's cooled down the temperatures. We have an upper level trough above us. We had a cold front that's been swiping through, and that's certainly dropped this. So this is quite a difference in a day. So this is a dramatic difference in a day. And of course, we're all used to the temperature swings in southern Alberta, but this is a big one, of course, because all of these communities, Lethbridge, Medicine Hat, Milk River, were in the 30s yesterday at this time. And now we're barely in the teens in some communities, like Lethbridge is just at 12 and Medicine Hat's at 16 and Milk River, there you go, barely in the teens. So it's cool. It's a one-day cool down. Mother Nature giving us a little break from the heat because the heat will return. And it starts tomorrow to build once again as this ridge of high pressure will make its way in. And this will be here for Friday and the weekend, and then it will start to let up Sunday night. That's when some rain will arrive again, and temperatures will dip down again after that. So I'll show you how that plays out in the longer range forecast in just a second here, but here's what's happening right now. When we have on and off rainfall, you can also see it starting to kind of break apart, become a little more isolated as opposed to the widespread rainfall that we have been getting throughout the day today. But we are looking at potential thunderstorm activity, weak thunderstorm activity. We're not looking at severe thunderstorms at this point. And there were some, but those have since died out. So expect showers on and off right through until the midnight hour. And there may be some embedded non-severe thunderstorms in that. So here we go. Let's fast forward to tomorrow. Tomorrow the sun comes out. The ridge starts to build its way in. And while temperatures will not be excessively hot tomorrow, you will notice a huge difference in comparison to today. There may be some cloud cover that will creep in here and there in the afternoon tomorrow, but overall we're looking at a good amount of sunshine. For the East Kootenay area, 9 overnight. Excuse me, 50 to 70 kilometer per hour gusts for the evening. The chance of showers and thunderstorm activity for the evening, possibly even up until the midnight hour, and then things start to clear out. A high of 28 tomorrow, UV index 8, which is very high. We're looking at 8 overall in the south here. So evening gusts up to 40 kilometers per hour, that is out of the north. So even when you combine this with these cold temperatures and then you add this cold wind out of the north, yeah, it makes for a chilly day for sure. Showers and thunderstorm potential again up until midnight. Weak thunderstorms if we get them at all. 27 degrees and mainly sunny for tomorrow. You may notice a couple clouds peeking in later in the day, but overall a bright, warm day. Medicine Hat looking at a high of 28 by the time we get into tomorrow. So again, for the evening, gusts up to 50 kilometers per hour, showers and thunderstorm activity possible, and then it starts to clear out by the midnight hour, giving us sunshine for tomorrow. And for that longer range forecast for Lethbridge, 26 for tomorrow, so a really nice day overall, not too hot, not too cold, very bright. A couple cloudy periods later in the day, UV index very high at 8. And then by Saturday and Sunday, we get into those 30s. This ridge will last until late Sunday night. That will start to break apart, that pattern, and that will really allow some rain to creep in and temperatures to cool down once again. To kick off next week, 18 degrees with rainfall.
The North Health Zone appears to be Alberta's new measles hotspot. 19 new cases were confirmed in the north, 2 in the south, for a total of 21. Province-wide, we're now at 1,267 cases since the outbreak began in March. The provincial government has announced the creation of 14 new regional advisory health care councils. The councils will be made up of 150 members from 71 communities. They'll advise Alberta's 4 health ministries and the newly refocused health agencies. Each council will explore solutions to local challenges and identify opportunities for the health system to better support community decision-making. The council members will include healthcare workers, community leaders, Indigenous and municipal representatives, as well as the general public. To learn more about the councils or to apply, go to alberta.ca. Have you ever heard of the McRobert Award? It is considered the Oscars of engineering. This year's winner is a device that can keep human organs viable twice as long as putting them on ice. This machine is able to trick an organ into thinking it is still inside a body. Its developers say when hooked up to a patient, this device can also be used to help the organs inside the body. This works by essentially providing a second organ. Still ahead on the CTV News at 5, the hopping hazard that golfers were faced on an Australian golf course when we come back. A quiet night last night across the WCBL with just 4 games. Here's a look at the lone Southern Alberta matchup. The Medicine Hat Mavericks got the job done at home against the Weyburn Beavers. A 4-run 8th inning helped give the Mavs the 11-8 win. Looking ahead to tonight, Lethbridge Bulls are at home against the Energy City Cactus Rats. The Mavs will play host to the Moose Jaw Miller Express, and the Brooks Bombers, they're on the road against the Sylvan Lake Gulls. First pitch for all those games, 7:05. The WCBL has announced the teams for this year's All-Star Game. Bulls pitchers Levi Abbott, Brett Getz, and Maxim Markovic earned spots on the West All-Stars team. Fielders Carter Clairhout and Brennan McTavish will also be representing the Bulls. The All-Star Game will be in Okotoks on July the 19th. Edmonton Oiler Leon Draisaitl put big smiles on some young hockey players' faces in his hometown of Cologne, Germany.
Sind hier Mädels dabei? Nee. Doch, wir haben beides, wir haben alles dabei. Alles gut?
Draisaitl met with players from the Junghai or the Young Sharks, the city's only junior hockey program to donate hockey equipment to the team. This is the youth division of the German professional league Cologne Sharks. Draisaitl and the NLHPA Goals and Dreams program is giving the club 58 full sets of hockey equipment over 2 seasons. That's 29 sets a season to match Draisaitl's number.
How's this for golf today? They've all decided to settle in the middle of the fairway.
If you're having fun playing golf and then a mob of kangaroos suddenly interrupts your round, that's par for the course at Riverside Oaks Golf Course in Sydney, Australia. Sometimes the kangaroos sit on your tee and growl at you, and they won't budge, so you have to tee off from another tee. Kangaroos are actually soft-footed animals and don't damage the course. The only sign of them is footprints in bunkers. Still ahead on the CTV News at 5, quite the catch for some BC anglers. We've got that story when we come back. Some anglers are celebrating a record-breaking catch in BC's Fraser River near Lillooet this week.
Oh my God, that's the biggest fish I've ever seen.
The sturgeon, nicknamed Ghost for its infrequent appearances, measuring 10 feet 2 inches long with a 5-foot girth. The anglers who caught it say this fish is easily identified by its curled dorsal fins, a rare feature that suggests Ghost is at least 120 years old.
We've probably done 3,500 plus fishing trips, and he shows up now. So where has he been for the last 12, 13 years that we've been in business on this stretch of river? So it's pretty neat how he's hidden out this long.
The sturgeon weighs around 700 pounds. It took more than an hour to reel in. It was tagged and released back to the wild. Well, thank you for sharing this time with us. Now here's the early edition of the CTV National News.